Good evening, everyone. As you know, it seems that there are few new faces as well. So let me remind you the steps that we follow in this Friday meditation and Dhamma talk meetup. So first of all, we meditate like 45 minutes. And then so some guidance is given at the beginning only. There's no guidance in between. And then so that you will meditate in silence for around 45 minutes. And when the 45 minutes long session is over, we will give a Dhamma talk in English on a selected topic. And then afterwards, you can ask any questions pertaining to the talk, the Dhamma talk that day. That being said, so we are using this meditation gong for guided meditation. And I will now mute everyone. So, and at the same time, in case someone happened to unmute themselves quite accidentally or on purpose, and as a result, you might feel distracted, so that while I mute everyone, and I kindly ask you also to guarantee that you mute everyone on your side. Probably you can mute me so that you don't hear me during the meditation once meditation guidance is given. But make sure that in 45 minutes time, so that you hear the meditation gong, so that you can end your meditation, and so that you can start listening to the Dhamma talk. That being said, now I'm going to end the video and mute everyone, so that you will be ready now. Thank you for joining this Friday's meditation session and Dhamma talk. As the sound of the meditation gong is now fading away, shall we slowly close our eyes and sit in a comfortable position, closing our eyes. Let's leave our palms together on our lap with our back upright, so that it helps the spine, and it helps easily deal with stress built up along your spinal cord. It's always recommended that you keep your back straight and upright. Ujjungkayam panidahaya parimukham. And let's drop our shoulders and open our chest. Feel stronger emotionally and physically as well, ready for meditation. As the bell goes on one more time, we will practice deep breath for a couple of minutes. Deep breath helps us disconnect ourselves slowly from our surroundings, and also to disconnect ourselves from the rest of the world that we had remain connected with, disconnect from the external world, the society that agitated us during the day, most probably. So as the bell goes on one more time, we will start our deep breath for a couple of minutes. How you do that is, I know most of you are experienced meditators, and so anyway, it's always good to remind ourselves that deep breath is very important at the beginning. You take a deep breath and then hold on to it for a few seconds, like 2-3 seconds, and then breathe out also longer and deeper. So it's a longer, deeper incoming breath, which you hold on to for a few seconds, and which you breathe out then. Let's start our deep breath. Mindful deep breath. Now you may slowly end your mindful deep breath and switch back to your natural, normal, involuntary breath. However, if any one of you are still willing to continue with your deeper, longer breath, you may do so. Because I know some of you are interested in doing the deep breath all throughout, and it's up to you. Otherwise, please switch back to your involuntary, natural, normal breath. Now, bring your attention around your nostrils. And then we need to maintain our attention, keep our attention around our nostrils throughout. Why? It is at the nostrils where our incoming breath begins and our outgoing breath ends. There are higher steps of mindful breath practice, but because this is an open to public kind of general Friday meditation meetup, we don't practice higher steps. However, as most of you uh, come with extensive experience in meditation, whether samatha or vipassana, you are welcome to practice meditation at your own pace, uh, at your own level of experience. For example, if you have experience in practicing higher vipassana, you are welcome to do that. This is a general meditation meetup. But however, regardless of our backgrounds, our experience, we need to remind a few things at the beginning. And that's what I mean by guidance. First of all, you need to remind what is called the universal meditation aspiration. That is to say, I may have lots of friends and kalyana mitras and well-wishers that I say, that I know are willing to come to my rescue whenever I go through problems and issues. Yet again, those friends have to deal with their own issues and problems. Even if they are available to offer help to me 24/7, I must not rely on them. I must not depend on them, because beyond a certain point, I have to deal with my own problems all by myself. And people are not going to be there forever. While I appreciate my friends' willingness to help me for the sake of higher spiritual progress, I should minimize my dependency on others. I must minimize my reliance on others, because one day I'll be achieving my own nirvana all by myself, because there's nothing called group nirvana. We may practice together in a group, we may help each other, but nirvana is personal. Individuals attain their own nirvana. So I should not depend on others unnecessarily. So I should take care of myself happily. The lesser I depend on others, the more I am able to use my self-reliance and self-confidence. And so that I should be able to love myself at the first place, do metta, 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 which is unconditional love, which is highly recommended in Buddhism. So I should be able to do metta to myself first. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May I take care of myself happily. When I take care of myself happily, I become less reliant on others. I become less dependent on others. And as a result, I not only cultivate my spirit, I not only improve myself, I become a source of solace or comfort or help to others. It's not because I'm selfish that I do metta to myself at the first place. It's because of the fact that when I become stronger mentally or emotionally, I will not only be able to help myself, I will also be able to help many others in the world, in the society, who are on the receiving end of my help, so that it would help me practice my bodhisattva vows, my paramitas, my kusalas to a great extent. And that being said, let me remind you of the distractions as well. As you continue, you will usually encounter two kinds of distractions. internal and external. Internal distractions are like any feeling, any thought, any memory, any sensation, any tendency of the mind that impedes, that blocks, that floods your mind, because of which you feel distracted. External distractions are any sound, any noise, such as doors opening, people talking, chatting, telephones ringing, music playing, TV running, radio running, air conditioner running, traffic moving on the street nearby, aeroplanes flying over if you live under a flight path, etc. When those distractions occur, do not get agitated by them. We live with distraction anyway. The only difference during our meditation means that we feel distractions more as we try to settle our mind down. As the mind is trying to settle down, it becomes more receptive to distractions. It becomes more sensitive to distraction. That's why we feel more distractions than when we are not meditating. That's about distractions. And the last piece of guidance is that as you continue, part of the distractions would be mental pains that are called domanasas in Pali, and physical pains that are called dukkha's in Pali. As those mental pains or domanasas and or dukkha's or physical bodily pains occur, do not get agitated by them. You are not the only one going through that. I am not the only one going through that. We are not the only one going through that. People have painful personal histories, untold personal histories. People have been through so many problems and issues, trauma. People remain traumatized. There are personal health issues, etc. And whenever such pains occur, be happy that you are being given an ample opportunity for you to see the impermanent nature of our existence. Impermanence is not pessimistic. Understanding of impermanence helps us have a realistic approach to our life. So, Buddha's teaching is neither an optimism nor a pessimism, but a realism. Optimism is recommended because you are not supposed to be pessimistic. But again, too much of optimism could be a building block to your progress, whether spiritual or material. Because you are not supposed to be pessimistic, you are encouraged to be optimistic. But again, what we need to be is realistic. The realistic approach to our life, our empirical existence is such that we accept our pains. When we accept pains as real, and then so that we thereby we stand against those pains, and so that we can stand against them and we can improve ourselves against those pains. And then every time a pain occurs, a pain whether mental or bodily occurs, be happy that you are being given an ample opportunity to test yourself, test your self-reliance, test your self-confidence. And also the last piece of advice that I would like to share with you, and that comes from the Buddha himself, is that pain is as impermanent as joy. People in general believe that only joy is impermanent. So as a result, they get their pain intensified because of their passive connection, passive attachment to pain. So pain is as impermanent as joy. It's not only joy that is impermanent. Pain is impermanent as well. That being said, let's start our evening mindfulness practice in silence. No more wordings. no more verbal guidance. As I hit the bell, please start your meditation. We will meditate like 40 to 45 minutes. Thank you. Listen to the meditation gong going on one more time. We will start our evening mindfulness practice. Thank you. And slowly open your eyes, please, and stretch out. So the topic for Dhamma talk this evening is the 5 sanghas. Sangha is spelled S-A-N-G-A, not S-A-N-G-H-A Sangha. S-A-N-G-H-A Sangha is pronounced is Sangha, which is part of the Triple Gem, whereas here it is S-A-N-G-A Sangha, meaning bond. So you come across a list of 5 sanghas or bonds in the Buddha's teachings. From among multiple mention of the list of 5 sanghas or bonds, an easier reference occurs in the Dhammapada, which is Dhammapada verse number 370. Dhammapada verse number 370 explains what needs to be cut, what needs to be gotten rid of, what needs to be abandoned in order for you to achieve nirvana. And then the verse number, Dhammapada verse number 370 contains a number of lists that needs to be given up or cut off or to be practiced in order for you to become an Oghatinna. O-G-H-A-T-I-N-N-A. Oghatinna is one who has crossed the flood. Flood means samsaric flood. So samsara is compared to a flood. No matter how experienced you are in swimming, you may not be able to swim, fight off strong water currents, waves. So samsara is compared to a flood. And I'm not going to confuse you by referring or by going through those different lists of sangyojanas or fetters. That means the 10 sangyojanas or fetters that you need to cut or abandon. And then another list of 5 mental or spiritual faculties that you need to practice. And there are 20 things that are contained in the Dhammapada verse numbers 370. Of those individual 4 lists, the last list is a list of 5 sanghas that you need to deal with as someone striving to cross the samsaric flood so that you can go to nirvana. And these 5 are called sanghas. And during our Q&A session afterwards, please do not ask about those 10 fetters, because we have given lots of talks on the 10 fetters and the 5 spiritual faculties. And more importantly, we will discuss other lists, other things in the future. But today's focus is only on the 5 sanghas or 5 bonds that you need to deal with as someone aspiring for enlightenment. Now, first, let me go through the list of 5 bonds. So again, sangha means S-A-N-G-A, sangha means bond. So the first sangha or bond is raga, R-A-G-A, raga. In English, it's passion or lust. Number 2, dosa, D-O-S-A, dosa. It is anger in English. And number 3 is moha, M-O-H-A, moha, which is delusion in English, or in ignorance, delusion. And number 4 is mana, M-A-N-A, mana, which is conceit in English. And the number 5, the last one, ditti, D-I-T-T-H-I, ditti, which is wrong view, wrong view. And those who have listened to previous talks, previous discussions that we had may remember that these 5 sanghas overlap with other lists. For example, these 5 sanghas, bonds, more or less occur, more or less overlap with the 10 fetters or the 10 sanyojanas that you need to get rid of on your way to nirvana, gradually by achieving the 4 stages of enlightenment. And they also kind of overlap with the 7 anusayas, or the 10 dormant tendencies, or the 7 anusayas, or dormant tendencies or obsessions. So at this point, why Buddha mentions these 5 sanghas that, as I said, overlap or mention as part of other lists, other factors, is that at this point, Buddha is giving you a universal picture of what needs to be dealt with in your effort to achieve enlightenment. So these 5 sanghas universally explains, universally encapsulate all the defilements in general that you need to deal with as a spiritual practitioner. And then those who have listened to previous talks may remember in detail how we describe these terms. Once again, let me go through the 5 sanghas or 5 bonds once again in Pali. First, raga. Second, dosa. Third, moha. Fourth, mana. And 5th, ditti. Now let's look at the first one, raga, which is passion or lust. And then when it comes to raga, or passion or lust, we come across 3 types of raga, or passion or lust. And you can better understand those three types in terms of the three spheres of life in existence. Kama raga, that is Kama raga is sensual passion, sensual lust, sensual passion. That is part of desires of sensual beings, such as that includes beings in the four hells, apayas, onirayas, human beings, and divine beings in the six heavens. So, according to Buddhist cosmology, Buddhist list of 11 realms of sensual existence. You come across those different realms. 4 negative realms, where hell beings live in misery, and in human realm where we live, and in the sensual heavenly realm that includes 6 heavens where divine beings live, and living beings in those 11 sensual planes of existence, sensual realms or sensual planes of existence. Beings are driven by sensual passion or lust. That's called Kama raga. And most of you know, we have learned the 3 types of ragas in detail from our previous dialogues. And please go back to those recordings on Calmwell Mindfulness YouTube channel, maintained by our Kalyana Mitra, Shalindra Singh from Jacksonville, Florida. So, and the second type of raga is Rupa raga. Rupa raga is the kind of raga that Brahmas have. And you come across 11 Brahma worlds. And in Brahmas are also divine beings, but they are higher divine beings. They don't have sensual raga. They don't have sensual passion. They don't have lust. They don't need to satisfy their sense faculties, namely the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, and the skin, with the sense objects or arammanas called images, music, or fascinating sounds, and good smell and taste, and anything tangible that brings comfort, respectively. Yet, however, Brahmas still have kind of raga, and they still have attachment to their body, physical body. They don't have sensual passion or lust. They still have Rupa raga, or they have raga with regard to their physical body, bodily existence. And they love their physical bodily existence, or their bodily or physical existence. They still have raga towards their physical body, hence Rupa raga. And they still need to exist in Rupa form, in Rupa. And then the third type of raga is Arupa raga. Arupa means formless. Rupa means form. Arupa is formless. And then you also come across a list of 4 formless Brahma worlds. In those formless Brahma worlds, Brahmas do not have a physical body, and they simply exist in a mental form. And they acquired that mental form upon death from their human life. They had practiced what is called Arupa jhanas, or the formless jhanas, and then they never wanted to exist in physical body, which is subject to decay and aging. So logically, formless Brahmas have more fear. They have more fear regarding their existence, because they may want to have a physical body that is subject to aging and change and impermanence. So in those four Brahma worlds, the formless worlds, so they remain in a mental form. They don't have a functional physical body. They don't have a functional existence. Why? Without a physical body, they can function. And they still remain in a still mental form. And that is, in Buddhist terms, is called a mental form of existence, which is frozen through jhana, jhanically frozen mental form. As long as the jhana power, arupa, formless jhana energy remains active, remains, and then they will stay there. Once they run out of the formless jhanic energy, they will come back to functional samsara. They might come back to even to sensual sphere of existence, such as like the six sensual heavens or human world. So those are the three types of raga. But as sensual or kama, as those living in kamavachara worlds, in the sensual sphere of existence as human beings, we need to basically deal with our sensual raga, lust. Raga, not only raga, once again translates as passion or lust. When you call it lust, it specifically means your sexual feelings, your sexual attachments, and so on and so forth. If you use a general term, it's passion. Passion means sexuality is one certain aspect of our passion, raga. So passion is such, raga is such, that we anticipate being able to only to acquire experience, only to experience things that would gratify our sense faculties. We only wish, consciously or subconsciously, we wish that we only experience images that gratify our eyes. We only experience sounds like such as music that gratify our ears. And we only experience taste, smell, good smell, such as perfume or smell of a flower. Or when it comes to lustful relationship between men and women, as Buddha explains in the Anguttara Nikaya, Ekaka Nipata of the Anguttara Nikaya. If there's a universal smell that impresses man, and that is the smell of a woman. And if there's a universal smell that impresses a woman, that is the smell of a man. That is from the Ekaka Nipata of the Anguttara Nikaya. So that is the smell of lust, based on your sexuality, based on your sexual orientation. So that is also part of raga. So people and human beings, we human beings we always anticipate being able to gratify our senses with something, with pleasant, only with pleasant things, pleasant images to our eyes, pleasant sounds to our ears, pleasant taste to our palate, our tongue, pleasant, 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 Tangible things, toe, skin, etc., etc. And then also when it comes to our overall satisfaction in life, it is solely based on our ability to gratify our senses, our sense faculties or indriyas, with aramanas or sense objects, which you have now explained, that we have gone through a few rounds of explanation. And then second, and that is what raga is, the first bond or sangha that prevents us from continued spiritual progress. And because of raga, we may happen to fall back in the same pattern of gratification, same pattern of anticipation, same pattern of anticipation of gratification, which most probably end up in frustration or suffering. In our effort to find sukha, joy, we may end up in dukkha or unsatisfactoriness, or end up with a sense of unfulfillment. And the second sangha or bond is dosa, anger. And you learn from our previous dialogues that anger has many different forms. The basic form, the most subtle form of anger is patigha, Patigha, patigha. Patigha is a sense of resistance, sense of retaliation. So sense of resistance is a better translation. Sense of those who have patigha, sanya, sense of resistance. And then you may, when you have patigha, others around you may not notice it, because patigha is the most subtle sense of anger. It's mostly how to say, personal, and you can hide it. Patigha can be hidden very easily. And some people, when they have patigha or sense of the most subtle form of anger, they simply smile. They laugh, but others around them may not have an idea of whatsoever going on. So that is the most subtle form of anger, type of anger, that is patigha. And sudden burst of anger, outrage. Sudden burst of anger is kodha, Kodha, kodha. And then it is sudden burst of anger, sudden explosion. And it is so sudden that the very person exploding may not be able to control it before it happens. Within a moment, it can lead to disaster, just like a sudden unexpected volcanic eruption or a sudden formation of a tornado that puts everything on its way. So, and there is also what is called hatred or vera, V-E-R-A, vera. And that is very slow, silent anger that can exist beyond samsara, beyond many lifetimes. And then so that it can last many lifetimes. That is vera. Probably someone can bring vera or hatred into this life, would have brought it into this life from their past life. And that is vera or hatred, the longest lasting anger, because it can last through different forms, life forms in samsara, different samsaric life forms. And there's another one, ill will or vyapada, V-Y-A-P-A-D, vyapada. That is ill will. That is not so, it is not as, it doesn't stay as long as hatred or vera, but it can last longer than kodha. And there is ill will is such that out of jealousy or out of your inability to achieve stand someone's achievements or accomplishments or success, and then you wish them dead, and you wish that they encounter destruction, and you even actualize your ill will, vyapada, that even you may even go to the extent killing someone, destroying someone's life because you don't like their achievements. And those are the basic universal form types of dosa, given the limited time. And let's move to the next one, moha, delusion. Delusion is the trickiest of all the sanghas or bonds here. It is delusion. We don't know we get deluded. We may, no matter how experienced you are in meditation, no matter how high, how extensive your knowledge in Dharma, in spirituality is, you may get deluded by something, moha. It happens due to various reasons. Either because somebody is not giving you enough attention, or someone is disagreeing with you, or someone is so that someone doesn't love you enough like before. There could be multiple reasons behind your moha. Moha is this, as I said, just to say again, moha is the more subtle or the trickiest kind of bond or sangha here, and it is more like a background sangha, and then moha can be a feeder bond. It can help other bonds to remain active. Moha, delusion. And the fourth one is mana, and you learn 3 types of mana from our previous dialogues. And mana, which means conceit, is never to be mistaken with pride, because mana translates as conceit, not as pride, but as conceit, because the term pride in English has a positive connotation. So we often use conceit as the translation form of mana. So conceit, mana, has 3 levels, 3 levels of mana. And mana literally means measuring someone. First one is seya mana, that you feel superior to others. And sadisa mana, you feel equal to someone who is higher than you, higher in terms of material wealth, high in terms of knowledge, in terms of social esteem, etc. And third one is hinamana, and it is inferior. You feel inferior to someone. You feel superior to someone, and that is seya mana, S-C-Y-Y-A seya mana, M-A-N-A mana, superior. Sadisa, S-A-D-I-S, sadisa mana, and you feel equal to someone. You strive to be equal to someone who is actually higher than you in terms of knowledge, in terms of material wealth, in terms of knowledge, in terms of social esteem, etc. And you feel inferior to someone. You feel much lower to someone. And that's the worst. The worst type of mana, conceit, is inferiority feeling of inferiority, like it's a complex as well. So those are the 3 manas or conceits. And then the 5th one is ditthi, wrong view. Now, wrong view has to be understood strictly in a spiritual sense. And Buddha explains in different places of his teachings what wrong view is. A wrong view is a view that makes you believe that, and the wrong view is, let me put it this way, wrong view is understood in light of that you and the world were created by a creator. And so that is in terms of creation you understand wrong view. And the second one is that you understand that wrong view is understood in terms of fate or fatalism, in which you have no control over your karma, which is wrong. You are the creator of your own karma. You can plant new karmas that would help you to push the previously made karmas to the sides, and so that you can, when you one day end your samsaric existence by as upon achievement of nirvana, and then you die from when you die from your physical body, and your karmas become defunct or ahosi karmas. And we also please listen to the previous dialogues on karma. We had few dialogues on karma. Now, so wrong view is such that you believe that you were created by like Brahman. Wrong view is such that everything is controlled by your fate, and the wrong view is such that you have Atman or permanent soul within you that is indestructible, and those are the three key areas in light of which you understand what a wrong view is. Now, once again, what are the five sanghas or bonds? Raga or passion or lust, dosa or anger, and moha or delusion, or at times you can call it ignorance. Mana, because ignorance is too so wide a term, so big a term that it is at times misleading. It requires more description, so it's better to use the term delusion. But they are used both terms are used interchangeably to mean whatever meant by moha. And mana, conceit, and the last and the fifth one, ditti, wrong view. And once again, according to the Dhammapada verse number 370, you need to deal with them. You need to gradually get rid of these five sanghas, so that as someone who is striving to become an ogha thinna, O-G-H-A, ogha, which means blood, thinna, T-I-N-N-A, thinna, one who has crossed the flood. Flood of what? Flood of samsara. Samsara is compared to whole flood. At times it is compared to an ocean. Anyway, it is a vast body of water, whatever it is. You can call it sea, you can call it a huge body of water, you can call it an ocean. Whatever it is a huge vast body of water that you get into and you start swimming. Regardless, despite your vast experience as a swimmer, you may drown in the samsaric flood. Thank you. Now I welcome questions pertaining to today's five sanghas that we explained.
So in answer, good evening.
Good evening. How are you today?
I'm good, Bante.
Okay.
So when you explained about ditti, you said you had to look at it from a strictly a spiritual perspective. But when you translate, when you translate it, so ditti translates to wrong view. So can it be argued that the four ragas that we discussed, I'm sorry, the four sanghas that we discussed, the raga, dosha, moha, and mana, can it be argued that it is a sub-factor of ditti because it's wrong view, or is there a broader sense for the explanation of ditti?
Actually, they are subtracted. They are intertwined. They are inseparably interconnected. So that's why Buddha purposely put them on one list, because they are called mutual feeders. Yeah, mutual feeders. They feed each other, and then they function in combination with one another. So that's the very reason why Buddha called them sanghas. It's a very fascinating question because you have to deal with them together.
Which is my problem. So I'm trying to maybe separate them out and then understand each one. So obviously I'm wrong.
Actually, you are not wrong, but we need to have a basic theoretical understanding of each and every one of them. And then at the same time, as you said, when you deal with wrong view, and the wrong view would be due to your raga or your dosa or moha or mana. Mm-hmm. So it's okay to use that word. Which is to use to subtract something. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You use the term subset or subtract something. You use the term. Anyway, yeah, they are
subset. I said so in answer.
A subset. Yeah, subset. Yeah. It's could be
Yes.
yeah. You could, and they are all actually mutual subsets. They are subsets. So you need to have a theoretical understanding of them individually, and then as you suggested, of course not suggested, as you said, is acceptable that when you deal with, for example, wrong view, and the wrong view could be due to your raga, it could be due to your dosa. For example, now when you have raga towards someone you love, and that's your partner, that's your legal partner, and then you could argue, what's wrong with having raga towards my partner, because she is my legal partner. So, but that's okay, because that's when Buddha says desire. Remember, in one of our previous dialogues, we happened to mention that desires are fundamentally desires are neither good nor bad, but natural. So the limits of them depend on individuals. But these are considered, these need to be controlled or dealt with if you walk your spiritual path, but still you live your material life, your sensual life, but at the same time, when you go to extra miles, when you want to practice, go deeper into your spiritual practice, then you need to deal with them. There's no particular degree of reduction or dealing with them. It depends on individuals. It depends how you choose your spirituality. Some people move in a slow pace. Some even live their lay life and become a forest monk because they want to move faster. So it depending on your interest in spiritual progress, because it's something very difficult, because there are no commandments in Buddhism as to what you must give up, what you must stick to, adhere to, like that. You have total freedom of choosing which sanghas you need to deal with first. Yes, depending on you. Because in Buddhism there are no commandments, right? There are no strict rules or regulations in place. And one thing is, you can deal with them, and you can easily, for example, when you have so that could be argued that wrong view is not only about your spiritual progress, not only in a strict spiritual sense, but when you have raga beyond control, dosa beyond control, moha beyond control, mana beyond control, it can bring you problems in your day-to-day life as well. And interestingly, there's no separation between spiritual practice and daily life in Buddhism. So perhaps you need to, if you are hot-tempered, you need to control your anger in your workplace, right? So otherwise, you might encounter problem with your you may get into trouble with your co-workers, your company, your employer. So wrong view, because the purpose of a Buddha, the rise of a Buddha in the world, is to teach people that wrong view can block them from spiritual progress. For that simple reason, I happen to mention that wrong view or ditti is considered strictly in a spiritual sense. But you can use it in general terms as well. For example, when you use the word ditti or wrong view in a secular sense, like when you believe that your co-workers must listen to you all the time and you are not supposed to listen to them, and that can become an occupational hazard, and that can easily amount to yourself getting fired from your job, like that.
Yes, Bhante, it is very easy to tie conceit with delusion or ignorance.
Yes,
because
that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why you have freedom to tie them with anyone else, any of this from within these 5 sanghas. You can tie them with anyone based on how easy, how comfortable you are. Because I have come across some people only work on their raga and ditti, and some only work on their dosa and mana. Because of their superiority complex, Sayya mana, they easily get angry whenever some people advise them. So in that case, and they are working on they continue to work on their dosa and mana, anger and conceit, superiority conceit, like that. Yeah, you have freedom, because these 5 are universal, because all these 5 sanghas or bonds encapsulate all the fetters or bonds or building blocks or nivaranas or anything that prevents you from spiritual progress. So that's why we happen to say at the beginning, they overlap with other lists like 10 fetters and then 7 anusayas, or the 7 dormant obsessions, like that. So the 5 sanghas the 5 sanghas an easier way for us to work on our personal spiritual progress. And I like the way you put it. So you can tie them with one another. You can tie them with tie few sanghas together and see how they affect. And it also depend on your personality type. Some are lustful characters, some are dosa characters, some are moha characters, and there are different personality types. And then so that we belong to different archetypes. We call charita, C-A-R-I-T-A, charita. So that we have different characters, we have different charitas, and based on also, and then so that you could tie 2 sanghas together and see how they affect your overall existence, overall well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you. You're most welcome. Okay, then our time's up. Let me open the video again. Thank you so much for your contributions. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for meditating with us. That being said, I wish you a peaceful night that is free of fussy dreams, nightmares. I wish you a peaceful night. Thank you. See you next Friday. Buddha Saranai.
Thank you, Thero.
Buddha